Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a Grand Solar Minimum update. Thursday, May 2nd, 2019 at 1 a.m. Mountain Time. Now, what we're looking at is AR2738 on the backside of the sun, blowing out a coronal mass ejection, which is showing a halo explosion, which means this is headed out into the solar system. Could be electrifying some of those electric comets heading our way. You've entered the boom room. Stay calm. Everything is okay. New round of storms Thursday could flood roads throughout Chi-Town. New flash flood watches have been declared. People are they're making phone calls right at the edge of the river. Chi-Town area residents may have to deal with another bout of flash flooding Thursday after flood warnings hit Chi-Town area rivers Wednesday morning as rain soaked northern Illinois, forecasters said. A flash flood watch is in effect from Thursday morning into Thursday afternoon as another round of moderate to heavy rainfall was expected to hit the shit. And that's boom. That's tonight's first boom. If you came here for the info, you're here to stay. Because we're going to give it to you. Trapped residents rescued by boat as Detroit suburbs are hit by hard flooding. There is no comma needed there. They need a new editor. As rainfall filled Dearborn Heights homes Wednesday morning, firefighters waded through waist-deep water to rescue trapped residents and even borrowed an inflatable boat to reach some of them. Apparently, they weren't prepared. The police. Yeah, that's... Proper prior planning will prevent piss-poor performance as we descend into the next level. Whatever level that is anyone's guess. The fact that the computer is not responding is very bad news. Davenport flood concerns to remain high for the rest of spring. Ding, ding. The risk of more flooding will hound Iowa's third largest city for at least a month. That's 4 weeks. As the possibility of a wet spring could see already swollen Mississippi River MISSIPPI pushing higher out of its banks. That's going to be danks, Davenport officials said Wednesday, a day after floodwaters broke through a temporary barrier downtown. Meanwhile, cities downstream will remain largely dry, but are preparing for a flood bulge that will come there. Floodwaters that swamped a couple of blocks downtown to Davenport on Tuesday are not expected to get worse, except they may get worse. I love it how they predict this. They're like, yeah, it's not coming. Oh, it's here. It's not going to happen again. Oh, we're sorry. We forgot to mention that. Boom! It's May and it's still snowing in Upper Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Heads up, Peninsula in Upper Mich. That's the dish. While southeast Michigan is battling floods on the first day of May, Michigan's Upper Peninsula is facing a different weather dilemma altogether. Snow. Ow! Get in your hole! Holy schmoll! May is almost summer. About 3 to 4 inches of snow fell as of Wednesday morning, said Matt Zika, who didn't have the virus, and he's actually a meteorologist with the National Weather Service. Now, Zika virus said that the preliminary snow accumulations has already broken a 1.2-inch daily snowfall record set back in 2005 during global warming. Ow, your shit stinks. Oh, and we're in the pinks. But it doesn't stop there. Zika said snow continues to fall 6 to 7 inches, is predicted by the end of the day into Thursday. Holy sh... Heads up, Upper Michigan. You've been duped. And you should move south because it's only going to get worse. Late season snowstorm dumps heavy snow across the Rockies, prompting travel advisories. Vicious winds create whiteout conditions amid the spring snowstorm. Do a dab. I'm going to give you audio. Let's do this.
Can't even see the...
Hell of a May day there. Yeah, and it's May. High snowfall totals have been recorded in the Rockies as a late season storm moves through the region, sparking travel advisories and warnings, shutting off videos to the right. It's fairly common to get snow this late in the season for parts of Colorado, except in a global warming world after we've been warned there would be no more snow, which they didn't ever mention. Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana get snow into May. Denver has made measurable snowfalls after April 20th, including every year since now. 2016, 17, 18, and now, says meteorologist Steve Travis, who has no explanation for it. Except the sun, you fucking idiot. Oh my God. In Denver, the average day for the last snow is April 27th. But we're in a solar minimum, the Eddie Grand minimum, you idiots. I hope you're listening. Are you tired of snow? So is Al, who's in his hole currently. Rapid City, South Dakota. Well into spring on Wednesday morning, people woke up to see more snow. Ho, ho, ho! And that's a boom to never seeing snow again, because it's fucking everywhere. Mount Washington auto road crews are taking 3 weeks to clear snow drifts ahead of Memorial Day. Look at that. That's because it's 30 feet deep. The biggest snow drifts shown in April on the Mount Washington Auto Road are found in what is known as Cragway section. Yeah. That's a quagmire of conceptual complexities in the middle of the global warming world. Early season tropical disturbance to unleash flooding downpours on Florida. Oh dear. Heads up, camerers. A tropical low or disturbance in the Bahamas will approach Florida late this week and bring much needed rain for some and flooding for others, and rainfall for all. While the disturbance is not expected to develop through Thursday, the feature will have to be watched as there's a slight chance of it becoming better organized in the southeast coast of the U.S. this weekend, which will be your lose day in Florida this weekend. We'll cover it, and it won't be covered in snow, unfortunately, this year. But you'll get your chance. At least 29 tornadoes reported during Tuesday's storms. Flooding now the main concern. Heads up, a tornado is pictured in Christine in Adair County. Whew, that looks like an F2. West of Tahlequah on Tuesday afternoon was one of at least 18 tornadoes to touch down in central U.S. Tuesday, which was their lose day. Oh my. 29 tornadoes are reported since Tuesday in Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas, and Texas. Of those 15, reports came from Oklahoma. And we know who lives there. Yeah, that's psychopath Greg Wynn. Psycho. GFS model showing heavy snow moving into Colorado May 7th through the 10th, extending all the way into New Mexico, as well as picking up snow in the Sierras. Will it continue? It's insane. It's going to continue to snow in Maine and the northern Mish Peninsula. Heads up. When will June come? Doesn't matter, because you're looking for severe thunderstorms and heavy rain to continue through the southern Midwest and the Midwest, very warm mid-Atlantic South and Ohio Valley. A slow-moving and elongated front from Texas to the Ohio Valley will continue to produce areas of severe thunderstorms, damaging winds, large baseball-sized hail, heavy to excessive rainfall, possible flooding over the next couple of days. Out ahead of the system, very warm high temperatures are expected across the South Ohio Valley, especially the mid-Atlantic states through Friday, which will be your lie day, because that's going to be followed by your goodbye day, said the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Yes, we said it. And that's a boom to saying stuff, because we like to say things that have information. Quebec, New Brunswick, hope worst flooding is over, while Ontario's situation is potentially worsening. Saint-Marthe-sur-Lac, Quebec. Robert Pepin's mobile home sits crookedly on its foundation. The front door is broken. The insulation and deck are damaged beyond repair. But the 70-year-old resident of Saint-Marthe-sur-Lac, Quebec, says he's happy and less anxious because he's been able to visit his home and see what the water did to it. Yeah, it destroyed it. And they're blaming it on global warming, not record snow, which is completely insane because the Arctic area is cooling twice as fast as the rest of the world. And the facts are in. Here's the data, and you're looking at it. The Arctic area, yes, the trend, and the rest of the world. The Arctic region is in red. Boom! Has cooled 1 degree since 2016. Those are the facts. I'll link you below. And those are coming from UAH satellite data. Seismic update, no quakes of note. We have a 4.9 kicking off out here. No, it's 5.0 in Tonga. Where's this 4.9? Holy! Yes, Indonesia. Where else would it be? We have a cacophony of quakes out here on the Aleutians, heading off into the Kamchatka, as well as some moderate uptick up in Kobuk. I dated a girl from up there once. Mid-ocean ridges spreading. We have 4.6 in the mid-North Atlantic Ridge following a 5.0 earlier yesterday. Whew. Everyone's safe. Worldwide volcano news update. Ducono Nevados de Chilan. No quakes of note except Sabancaya blowing to 24,000 feet twice in the last 24 hours. Check the links below. If you don't know how to do it, ask your neighbor. But Sunspot AR2738 kicking off a CME off the backside showing halo. Halo! Hey, have you heard about Rex Bear and the Leak Project? They're going to be at LeakCon 2019, the most premier event ever. Aurora, Colorado, just south of Denver. It's not a schmember, at the Marriott. If you don't have tickets already, you can't come. But if you're looking for exclusive access to live stream, this is the people that are even there won't see because it's only going to be behind the lens of the live stream camera. $24.99 gets you access to all 10 talks, 2 days. This is 20 hours plus extra live stream of the event, only available to people that are there and purchase the live stream. That's it. We're never going to make these talks public, ever. You got to buy them. Because we only want people that are interested in the facts to buy the information. Trolls are not invited, which is why you've been canceled indefinitely. Paris May Day protests, police and demonstrators clash. Well, what did you think would happen? You implement these ridiculous climate rules where there is no scientific evidence except for the shills that you paid to say, oh yeah, we're all burning up. Carbon dioxide's bad. It does not feed plants. It kills the earth. Not! French police have fired tear gas on mass protesters who joined a large May Day demonstration in Paris, traditionally a union-led day of action in the country because it's been 50 years and no one's gotten an increase in their pay. Hey, hey! Police responded with tear gas and water cannons, protecting the elites from their $1 billion an hour that they earn for our meager 10 to 20 bucks. And they can all sucks it. Because when the event occurs, we're going to burn their mansions. 38 people were wounded, including 14 officers, which does not compare to the thousands of elites that will be decapitated, flayed, and eaten by the hungry masses. Kiss my asses. Man, I can't wait for those days. It's going to be amazing. I love the taste of Clinton. NASA head issues meteor warning, calling for cooperation to meet the threat. This is not about Hollywood. This is not about movies. This is not about demonetization. This is about ultimately protecting the only planet we know right now that hosts life, and that's Earth. Well, and a dozen others. But I digress. Meteors that could destroy an entire U.S. state are a real threat to Earth, NASA's chief warned Monday. I'm sure you've heard about this. Fearmongers worldwide. But let's get to the scientific facts. Speaking at the Planetary Defense Conference in Washington, D.C., NASA Administrator Jim Burdenstein warned that the risk posed by meteor crashes was not being taken seriously. Are you serious? You mean there's meteors coming in? Are you serious? It's not about Hollywood. It's not about movies. It is about clicks. So click that shit. Subscribe now if you haven't. Bernstein pointed out to the meteorite that exploded over Russia in the city of Chelyabinsk back in 2013. That was a plasma discharge event exploding the meteor above the ground. It had 30 times the energy of the atomic bomb at Hiroshima and injured 1,500 people. The next event that we will see live will probably kill 15,000 and be 300 times larger than that. And Bernstein then continues that he wished he could tell you that these events are exceptionally unique. However, they're not. The more we study, the more often they occur. These events are not rare. They happen all the time. And it's up to us to make sure we are characterizing, detecting, and tracking all of these motherfuckers that are near Earth now. According to scientific modeling systems, such events are expected to happen every 60 years, which means every 120 years, something bigger happens. And it's been quite some time. Yeah, quite some time since that day in the Russian nowheres. So it's only a matter of days until we get hit by a large object. Or a large object comes into our atmosphere and plasma discharge vaporizes it miles above the surface and kills thousands of people. Tunguska much? Yes. We are at the 120-year flexure for Tunguska. It's coming. Mark my words. We'll name it whatever city blows up. It could be called New York, but it's probably Moscow. It's hard to believe how close this asteroid is going to get. And we're talking about the one coming in 2029, Apophis, 99942, Apophis. There she is. She's absolutely he, she. Let's make it genderless. Apophis is going to perturb multiple satellites in our satellite ring environment. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that if I click on it, it'll get bigger. And usually you have to touch my nipples, but clicking on it will do for now. So what we're looking at is the satellite ring. These blue dots represent satellites orbiting around the planet, unfortunately. And Apophis is going to come clip this corner here, which is not a schmorner, because they don't even show you where the rest of the satellites are. And they're out here! Because Apophis is probably going to hit 15 of them, and they don't want you to shit your pants. Which is why the CIA was developed, Chan Thomas's book was classified, and no one has talked about magnetic reversals or crustal slip until now. While space agencies simulate an asteroid impact this week at the 2019 Planetary Defense Conference on Monday, there is a real asteroid they are monitoring that will make a close approach in just 10 years. It's actually 9. Apophis 99942 is among the most infamous near-Earth objects. When astronomers at Kitt Peak National Observatory discovered it in 2014, they said we're dead. Then they recalculated and said, no, we're fine. Then they recalculated and said, no, we're dead. You do the math. 2 deads out of 1 fine equals dead. The Apophis close approach in 2029 will be an incredible opportunity for people on Earth to die, said Marina Brazovic, a radar scientist at NASA's JPL. Now, the reason is because it's going to hit some satellites, which are going to hit some satellites, which will hit the rest of the satellites, and then all the satellites fall in. But before then, the grid will have failed and global unrest will have ensued sometime in 2026. And we have eaten most of the population and we'll be down to just a few million. You might wonder how scientists go from predicting a 2.7% chance of impact to ruling out danger completely. Yeah. And then you may continue to wonder, because scientists have always been wrong. Asteroids' impact more generally are a real concern. At the Planetary Defense Conference this week, NASA, FEMA, and other agencies said we're fluxed. Humanity has a long way to go before feeling confident in our ability to handle an impending asteroid strike. Do you know why? Because no one even knows how to grow food anymore. 100 years ago, 90% of the population knew how to farm and supply the families with its own food. Today, less than 10%. That means more than 90% of the people in 3 days are going to be starving to death, and we're going to have to shoot them. Asteroid samples found with water hint half of our oceans could have come from space. Or maybe all of our oceans have been blown into space. Asteroids come from terrestrial bodies called planets, and during cosmic catastrophe like micronova, cometary impact, and other cosmic catastrophes, this water is blown into space. Our planet has lost thousands of feet of ocean water. Most of the continent was once covered in water. The reason there were inland seas 400 million years ago is because there was 2,000 feet more water, which would cover the earth in water. And the continents. Holy, they're just catching up. I'm glad you're listening. We caught up decades ago, but they're just doing the science. Let's talk about 11,500 years ago. Temperature rose 15 degrees C instantly. And so did snow accumulation. This is after an impact event at about 13,000 years ago that caused a mass extinction. And that the 11.5 event added insult to injury, coffining any remaining of the species that could make it through that drop down. And now a friend of the channel, CFAPS, has an awesome video. Let me see if I can find it, what I want to show you. So, we're going to parse this up. Come check out CFAPS' new video today. He's at 2222. What are the odds? 0. I know.
The Archaeological Conservancy. And here is one of the excavation pics from the Sloan site. There were a few other sites right nearby. And I will leave some links below so you can look at some of the artifacts from the...
Now, what CFAPS doesn't have is my archaeological expertise or my geologic background. I've been on many sites, and I can tell you that this assemblage was excavated in place. These large projectile points, a dozen or so, are stacked in a pile. These are implements to make the devices. These are scouring and grinding tools, which are all laid in place. Someone was sitting here. These were sitting where they were. This was a pile being made, and then they were covered instantaneously. This is as if there was a workshop open, someone making tools, piling up to the left, and then they were buried and never moved for 12,000 years. This site is amazing because no one has ever explained it the way it is obviously laid out before your very eyes. This is similar to Vesuvius or any other instantaneous burial process that buries objects the way they were in situ, time immemorial. And we're looking at the excavation of an in situ burial that's been sitting there for 12,000 years, which means that this is exactly how these objects were 12,000 years ago prior to them being buried forever until now. That's amazing. Give CFAPS a thumbs up. Tell them Oppenheimer Ranch sent you, Magnetic Reversal News, and tell them awesome job. Please. Awesome. Because he does not have a scientific degree. He does not have a background in archaeology, astronomy, geology, nothing. He just has a thirst for knowledge. And this thirst has taken this man to levels beyond any respected scientist on Earth. He approaches it with a clean eye. And come check out all of his videos because they're all worth your perusal. Finally, a Denisovian specimen from somewhere beyond Denisovia Cave. We're talking about hominids that lived 250,000 years ago, that interbred with Neanderthal and hominids, Homo sapiens sapien. The Denisovians were trying to survive in caves during cosmic catastrophes 160,000 years ago. And now it is confirmed due to excavations on the Tibetan plateau that Denisovian is not a fraud jaw. It is an actual subspecies of hominids, humans. Homo sapien sapien, Homo sapien Denisovian. Denisovian much? Homo sapien, yes. Sapien? Neanderthalensis? You're picking it up. We intermingled with the dingles. So even after cosmic catastrophes where cosmic rays change people, people make it. Other species make it. And we can interbreed, just like mules and horses and jackasses. Controversial studies suggest a 15,600-year-old impression in South America is actually a footprint. We've known for decades that we've been around since the last extinction event. In fact, Clovis research has shown there were over 30 million Clovis people in North America. So why wouldn't there be tens of millions of people in South America? There were. And they found a footprint, which is almost impossible to be a fossil. So, kudos to this investigative team who found a 16,000-year-old footprint in South America. Machu Picchu much? It's a big one, too. It's a big footprint. I'm not saying anything about giants, but shit changed 11,500 years ago. And what's left is what's left. Have you heard? Yes. I haven't. I gotta scroll all the way up here. Astronomers watch an active black hole dragging space-time around it. Every single word in here is fantasy. This is a science fiction novel. There's no way astronomers can watch an active black hole. Not only that, they can't watch a fake object dragging space-time around it. That is just think of that sentence. It's why it's on Sci-Fi Wire. I mean, this has to do with gravitational anomalies. It doesn't have to do with facts. There are no facts involved in this scenario. It's such a scary scenario that we have to do a dab. And we might even watch it on loop. Oh yeah!
I've been feeling like a pharaoh ever since I was a little kid. When I die, bury me inside a pyramid.
When I die,
bury me inside a pyramid.
It's that good. PTPishere.com. Power to the people.
I've been feeling like a pharaoh ever since I was a little kid. When I die, bury me inside a pyramid. When I die, bury me inside a pyramid.
Yeah, if you want a copy of that CD, come to LeakCon where I have 150 available to the public. A good question still remains, though. Why is the black hole tipped with respect to the accretion disk? Well, because the black hole is a fantasy, the accretion disk is a fantasy, and this whole picture is a fantasy. What you have here is a torus, a magnetic field, and you have material being spontaneously created through electricity through these jets. Same way water forms, galaxies, solar systems. They all form from an initial toroid magnetic field which ejects the material into space through the solar wind. In this case, magnetic torus jets. Much. So we're just beginning, decades later, to comprehend what we already know. And people are just beginning to discuss it, which is disgusting. And we need to stop looping this because it's been going on for too long. Still, there's nothing about the story that isn't mind-destroying, including all the fake facts in the title, which is complete science fiction, which is why it's on Sci-Fi Wire. No one can watch an active black hole because nothing escapes it, so therefore it's not visible. And how you can watch an invisible thing dragging space-time around it, which is invisible, is beyond me. But if you're living in a fairy tale, which is the empire model, and you're 8 billion people that are sheep, you're gobbling it up like it's Mike and Ike's, or even Skittles. Indian Army claims expedition team found Yeti footprints, or else they're human footprints that melted down 80 feet and they look like Yeti footprints. Those are facts. Melted footprints, not facts. Human influence on drought started a century ago. Yeah, because we're increasing population by the billions and we're sucking all the water out of the ground in the temperate zone. So yeah, humans do affect water. After a decade, NASA finally reveals the root cause of 2 failed rocket launches. The fact that the entire NASA program is a cover-up, and also that they're so stupid that they were sold faulty aluminum for 19 years in a scam. I can't make this penis up, which is NASA, because it's such a fucking fraud. The earth is round, by the way. I hate to break that to you. God, I hate that. Oxford professors, this is what science is coming to. Aliens are interbreeding with humans because of climate change. This is an actual video of Dr. Kyung Hai Chi from Oxford, who thinks that aliens are interbreeding with humans because of climate change. Oxford. People are just bribing people into private school, and you get actual articles coming out from Oxford about alien interbreeding as it relates to climate change. Not only that, Extinction Rebellion. Now, this is an activist group that dress like this because they think they're going to make a difference. Now, these rich liberal assholes, if they actually looked at the science, they would be embarrassed by the money they spent on these outfits and that makeup and this teardrop, which would be basically a teardrop for the amount of time you wasted of your life dressing like an ass, like a bloody vaginal deposit or something disgusting, when you have no idea why you're even out there. That there's a mass extinction going on and it's your fault, and you're going to dress like this? You should be embarrassed to be a human. You're obviously neglecting the rest of your family, your responsibilities. You don't know how to grow food. If you can waste this much time on art and this much makeup, you're completely a slave to the system. And you might as well be a Roman going to the Colosseum. You should be embarrassed by yourself. Why don't you spend time actually researching climate science, climate cycles, the fact that CO2 is such a marginal part of greenhouse gases that it could not possibly affect the earth in any way except to green the planet, which has already been proven scientifically, and you will look like the biggest schmuck ever with your white face and your bloody red robe and your stupid, useless gathering that nobody gives a fuck about except you pricks that dress this way. Oh my God, here are the facts. I will not show you the assholes anymore. Hey, if you didn't know I'm an actual scientist, here's my profile on ResearchGate. Yeah, Can you imagine that? Orbital forcing of a hierarchy of carbonate allocycles, Devonian Cedar Valley group. I did that work with Peter Goodwin, my mentor. My first paper, Correlation of Hierarchic Upper Silurian Stacking Patterns Generated by Milankovitch Orbital Forcing, was with Michael Ketterer, who I have not been able to locate, unfortunately. But there's other abstracts there. I'm following Svensmark, Linsky, and others. The last paper I read was one that you've been shoved down your throat for decades. And that is none of these places. You don't want to see any of this. I'm talking about the bubble chamber, the muons. I actually updated the project tonight, so you want to go look at that. If you're over on ResearchGate, you want to see what I updated tonight. But here's one of my abstracts, Correlation of Hierarchical Upper Silurian Stacking Patterns Generated by Milankovitch Orbital Forcing. Some of the early work I did on cosmic catastrophe correlated across the globe 400 million years ago. And I even have people calling me out on the fact that I support the use of cannabis still, even over here at Magnetic Reversal News, whereas the only place that the Oppenheimer Ranch Project can do its update because we're demonetized over at the other place. But this insignificant subscriber had the audacity to write like a 3-year-old, please stop talking about smoking the wacky tobacco, or something to that nature, which is so embarrassingly childish and uneducated that it makes me disregard anything that human has to say. When you refer to cannabis as wacky tobacco and you don't even spell it correctly with K's and Y's like you're 12 years old, no one can actually listen to anything else you say, especially when your hair is dyed bright pink and blue and other colors. Because when you refer to cannabis as wacky tobacco and you don't know the healing effects of cannabis, you don't know the fact that the hominid species has a cannabinoid endoreceptor system in the biological unit, and you don't know that cannabis is the safest herbal plant medicine on earth, bar none, then you're starting from ground zero. Idiot space. I know nothing. I'm an idiot, adult, a fraud, a failure. Go away. I don't want to ever talk to you again. But if you look at the history of cannabis science, the fact that ancient man, prior to the Ice Age, was growing it on the ends of moraines 16,000 years ago, and that we know that Christianity was developed from a mushroom cult that ate psychedelic mushrooms. Shut up! Does cannabis cure cancer? Yes. It doesn't cure all cancers, but it has cured many cancers. Not only that, it is 100% beneficial for all cancer patients, because it allows you to live happy, pain-free lives, have healthy diets, be hungry, eat food, and live. So not only can cannabis cure cancer, it can make your cancer experience better. You may die. Wouldn't you want to be happy before you died? Wouldn't you want to have a good appetite before you're dead? Because the multinational corporations killed you on purpose to suck and extract every last dollar out of your body while they made you even sicker with their radiation treatments. Wouldn't you want to at least be happy and smoke a fucking joint? I hope so. So to that woman that sent that comment and continues to harass me, you can suck it. Please never contact me again, because you are devoid of facts and compassion. You know who's not devoid of facts and compassion? My Patriot Supply. They contacted me last week. They said, look, you sold... you're one of our top sellers in the country. We want to give you a free website and give you even better deals for your people. How could I say no? We don't have any sponsors. I promote Hemp Lucid because it's awesome and they hook me up with free Hemp Lucid. We don't get any money from them. We support Hemp Lucid because they're an awesome company. We support My Patriot Supply because they offer easy ways for Americans to get ready for preparedness. And they offered us a free website, which is now, all you have to do is just come up here and say, preparewiththeranch.com. I just wrote that in, preparewiththeranch.com, and I'm going to hit enter. You know where that takes us? Watch this. Did I misspell it? I put 2 W's. You got to spell it right. Preparewiththeranch.com. Preparewiththeranch.com. Prepare with Oppenheimer Ranch. Prepared, not scared. I said that's our mantra, and they put it right up there. You're going to get the best deals on any food that you can ever get. 2-week food supply, $75. 1 month food supply, 252 servings, $147. 60 cents a serving. 2,000 calories a day. And we're about to get a 1-800 number for you up here. If you have any questions about preparedness, you don't know how to get to this website, you do not know how to type preparewiththeranch.com up above, you can call a phone number. Tomorrow, I will have that 1-800 number. Not only that, you could talk to a prepper specialist who will tell you about oxygen absorbers, length of prepping, length of food storage, seeds, anything you want, ask them. Only at preparewiththeranch.com. And you can prepare with Oppenheimer Ranch now. You can also come to LeCon. But the tickets are sold out. We're going to be talking about the Younger Dryas. I have multiple talks. LeCon will be the boom room that you missed. But you won't miss it if you purchase the live stream, where you're going to be getting coverage that no one else that even purchased VIP got. So purchase the live stream. The links are below. If you don't know where that is, you'll never even be able to find the live stream. So I can't help you. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. When you're trying to grow food, you're trying to survive and thrive in changing times, cosmic catastrophe is upon us. The magnetic reversal is occurring. It may be an excursion, but the last excursion resulted in a mass extinction. It does not have to be a polar reversal to be very bad. It doesn't. The last magnetic excursion, 11,500 years ago, eliminated 60% of all megafauna on one side of the planet. That's why there's no giraffes in New Jersey or rhinoceri. It's not because the Dagos ate them. It's because the sun burned them. We love each and every one of you. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. Preparewiththeranch.com. Preparewiththeranch.com. LeCon 2019 live stream available. Do it now. Do a dab.